G'day Dark Realmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again today. And today I've got another movie review for you. Today we're going to be looking at a sequel to a movie I reviewed not long ago. Okay, now if this is your first trip to the diaries, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. If you want to keep up with the best in horror from the world of books and movies, Hollywood trivia and creepypasta, then hit that subscribe button and you'll always be up to date. Alright Dark Realmers, today we're going to be looking at Creep 2. So, is this one of those ones where the sequel fails dismally, or is it a worthy addition to the original? Well, I'm going to tell you because we're going to get started right now. Yeah. Well, Dark Realmers, you know I never give spoilers, but through necessity, because I'm reviewing a sequel, there may be some little tiny ones. So if you haven't seen Creep yet, or you haven't seen my review of the original movie, check out the info card up there, you'll see it, okay, and go have a look, okay, so you know what you're prepared for, so just in case you don't want to be spoiled. Yeah. Okay, Dark Realmers, well, normally sequels are pretty hit and miss, okay? It's really unusual for a sequel to be either as good as the original movie or surpass it, but Creep 2 does it, okay? Now this is, once again, we have Mark Duplass, who plays Joseph, the serial killer, but this time we have a new victim, but it's not a rehash. Okay, and that's what's the nice thing about this. Now, in this movie, we have Desiree Ackhaven, who plays Sarah, and she's a videographer. And she does a web show called Encounters, where she goes looking through ads for people that have, different needs and wants, like lonely person wants to talk to someone to get their real story. However, the series hasn't been a real success because most of the people she interviews are pretty mild, nothing really interesting, and so her series isn't doing well. But then she reads a message from Joseph who says, come and interview me, I'm a serial killer, blah blah blah. Okay, and of course she doesn't believe it, this is just some guy. Okay, we know better, don't we, Dark Realms? Okay, so Sarah goes along and decides straight away that this guy is very interesting, okay? He is much more animated than anyone else she's interviewed. He's very articulate. But she decides that, yes, she'll stay and she'll go along with this, thinking he's just someone who's got this dark fantasy that he is a serial killer, okay? And he promises that he won't murder her within the first 24 hours, which is really nice of him. Okay, now the thing is, he introduces himself as Aaron, okay, and I thought for a minute, hang on, Aaron, and then it clicked. That was the name of his last victim in the original film. Sorry, spoiler. Okay, but there's a reason he does that, because he explains to Sarah that he takes a little bit of these people that he's murdered and takes it into himself. Okay, now as Sarah gets further and further into this, she realizes that, okay, this guy might not be kidding, okay, and Aaron, or stroke Joseph, has invited her not only to film himself, okay, but this is going to be his final. He's bowing out. He's killed 39 people, he's, jaded, as you do, and so he wants her to film his death. He wants her to murder him, okay? And throughout the story, we get this creep factor again. He tries to, once again, like in the first movie, he tries to scare Sarah, but she's very tough. She turns the tables and scares him, okay? And tit for tat, she's a very strong character, okay? And Aaron confesses, when he first had a psychotic breakdown at 14, and he met a guy who took him into the woods and strangled him and nearly killed him, and that's when he awoke his dark side. But of course, he's a pathological liar. We don't know whether what he's telling us is true or not. We want to believe it to try and get some sort of understanding for this character, okay? But he's a very good manipulator, okay? Now, the movie gets darker and darker until we get to the scene where he, you know, is wanting to have this filmed, you know, and he says, don't worry, I told you I wouldn't kill you. But she, remember, she's very good, Sarah. She says, no, you didn't say you wouldn't kill me. You just said you wouldn't kill me within the first 24 hours. So she's very up on every nuance, everything he says and everything he does. But is he really planning, you know, to end his life and go out on this spectacular high, or is this just more lies and more sort of mind games he's playing in order to murder Sarah and make her victim number 40? That's it. I'm not going to tell you the ending, so that's a spoiler I guarantee I'm not going to give you. Okay, Dark Realmers. Now, Creep 2 is really, really good. Mark Duplass, who plays Aaron / Joseph, is wonderful. His character is just so great. He does it so well. And Patrick Bryce, who played the murder victim Aaron in the last movie, he's behind the camera this time as a director, and he does a really good job with this, okay? And also Desiree Arkhaven, who plays Sarah, is a really strong character. Unlike, you know, we saw in the first movie, Aaron, who is totally frightened. He's very much been, you know, sucked into this world of mind games and feared by Joseph. She stands up. She is very strong. She knows that even when she could leave, she decides she's not going to, and that shows you how strong she is. Look, I can highly recommend this one, Dark Realmers. And I've just found out, just from some research, this is the second in a trilogy. Now that's going to be fascinating. I've been very lucky that I've enjoyed number 1 and number 2. When number 3 comes out, we'll see how that's going to finish the whole thing off, okay? But look, this is a Netflix movie. It was a Netflix movie, sort of co-production, you know, original release, whatever Netflix do. So you can find it on Netflix, Dark Realmers. And if you want a really good creepy night in, or maybe weekend in, watch Creep and then Creep 2, because you won't be disappointed. Okay, Dark Realmers, well that's it. That's my review of Creep 2. Definitely one for fans of, you know, mind games, serial killers, psychological torture, you know, movies where you bite your nails. Oh, yeah, that's one for you, okay? So there you go, Dark Realmers. I hope you've enjoyed my review. Now, if you've seen Creep 2 yourself, let me know in the comments below and what you thought of it. How did you think it rated in terms of being a sequel, okay? And if you haven't seen it, has this review made you want to look at the two of them, Creep and Creep 2? I'll be interested to hear. Alright, Dark Realmers, well that's it from me once again. Now, as I always say, if you're going to you know, video serial killers, make sure you do it where there's plenty of light, okay? Until next time, Michael J. Elliott signing off. Bye for now.